everyone, it's Ariane Elizabeth, and today I'm here to talk to you about a subject that's really important to me, teen issues. Now today's topic is a little bit heavier than normal, but that's okay because today's topic is going to be on something that is really important, and I think that everybody should have a little bit more information about and be a little more understanding towards. So today I have 8 books for you that I'm going to use to help get my message across. First up today we have Go Ask Alice by an anonymous author. This is a library copy. I don't know where mine is right now. So Go Ask Alice is the story of a girl who gets drugged at a party and then her descent into drugs that escalates from there. Go Ask Alice is based on the real diary of a 15-year-old drug user. She was only one of thousands of drug users who die each year. On Goodreads, this book is rated as 3.5 out of 5 stars. I personally would rate it a 4. I thought it was really moving, it was really powerful, it was haunting, and it's a really good place to start if you're interested in looking at real personal accounts of these teen problems, this one being drugs. If you're interested in Go Ask Alice and want to read some others that are like it, there is Jay's Journal or Lucy in the Sky. All of these books are very powerful, very moving, and they're all done first-person point of view, diary format. They are real accounts of real teenagers, and names and dates have obviously been changed, but they are a really, really great read, and I would suggest them to anybody. Next up, we have Crank by Ellen Hopkins. This is another book that addresses drugs and teenagers. This is one in many of the series. They follow several different characters. Crank is crystal meth. I haven't read the others, but I really, really want to. This was very, very powerful. This one is done in the format of poetry, and it's a very good way to approach the subject because it was a heavy topic, and it's very sad the things that these characters go through. At the author's note at the beginning, she does also state that while this work is fiction, it is loosely based on her own daughter's story with the monster. This is the story of Christina, who is a perfect daughter and perfect student, until she meets the monster, and it changes everything for her. She becomes very, very addicted. It's her descent into the drug world, into crystal meth, and how she can try and get out of it. I won't spoil it for you, but it is a very good read. It's quick and easy, even though it is quite large. Again, like I said, it is done in poetry format, so it is a fast read. Goodreads rated this 4 out of 5. I would definitely rate it the same thing, as it was an amazing book, and I'm sure the rest of the series is absolutely fantastic. The next book I have for you is Speak by Laurie Halse Anderson. Again, this one is from the library. I don't own a copy myself. This book is sort of aimed more at a 13 to 14 sort of age group. So reading it was a little bit almost of a struggle. I had to change my mindset when I went into the book. I did feel I had to push myself through it a little. But again, I think that's because of the age that I am now and the age that this was written for. This is a story of rape, and it happens to this girl Melinda, who busts an end of summer party after an incident with another guy, and she has a hard time talking about it. She actually stops talking about it, about everything. She shuts right up. She's outcast at school for being the one who broke up this great party, and this really takes you through her sort of inner journey into herself, how she overcomes what happened to her, how she handles it, how she comes to terms with it, and whether or not she learns to talk again will be up to you to read and find out. So Goodreads rated this 4 out of 5. I would definitely suggest reading it, even if you are above the age it was intended for. It is definitely a good read, and I think that it's very powerful. Especially let your younger siblings read it, let your kids read it. It's definitely very, very powerful. Next, on the topic of rape, is Cracked Up to Be by Courtney Summers. This is a book that I read, I think, when I was 17. I really enjoyed it. Like, I've kept it out on my shelf, always visible. This is the story of Perfect Parker, who was valedictorian. She had everything going for her at school. She was very academic, and then decides to get drunk one night. This is her first time, and everything goes horribly wrong for her because she witnesses somebody at school being raped and is too drunk at the time to be able to do anything about it. And that girl does end up going missing. Now, she didn't see who did it, and she hasn't been able to tell anybody that that's what she saw, and it's eating her up inside. She begins to fail classes, she starts getting drunk at school, she's no longer wearing her uniform properly. It's just this downward spiral, and her coming to terms with what she saw, how she handled it, why she wasn't able to do anything about it. And again, very much like Speak, it's her being able to tell somebody, which is so important for any kind of teen issue, really, is to tell somebody. And nobody is going to be mad at you at all, ever. You just need to tell somebody. It could be your best friend, it could be a teacher at school, it could be one of your parents, an aunt, a cousin. Sometimes even talking to a stranger helps. And it's just, I can't stress enough how important it is to talk. Next up, I have Cut by Patricia McCormick, and this is a book that I read in high school, and it's this girl Callie who is in a rehab center because she cuts her wrists. There are other girls there for various things, drugs, eating disorders, any sort of self-harm. And this book was very powerful to me. I've read it at least 10 times. It's not that big, it is powerful, it's a girl's struggle. It doesn't touch too much on how she started, and then it ends sort of when she wants to get better. But that, I find, is very real. Sometimes you don't know how these sort of things start, how mental disorders come about, or how self-harm begins. Something can trigger it, sometimes nothing triggers it, sometimes it's just there, like there's no reason necessarily to be depressed, you just are sad. And that's why I think this is such a good book. It shows how real and how quickly something can escalate. Cut really got me through my teenage years. I really cannot stress enough how important this book was to me. I really hope that someone else out there reads it and has the same sort of experience I did, because it empowered me to not want to be sad. Thank you to Patricia for this. Then we have Winter Girls by Laurie Halse Anderson. This is a story of two best friends, both with eating disorders. One is anorexic, one is bulimic. The girl who is bulimic dies, and then her best friend is left there to sort of cope with her own eating disorder, the ultimate fact that her best friend has just died, that she is all alone, and it goes through her emotional state to get better, to want to not die. I think her friend passing away really is what pushed her to want to live a better life, to enjoy the way her body looks. And it doesn't happen quickly, it's over the course of the novel, but she does get there in the end. It's very powerful. Anyone who sort of struggles with body image or has an eating disorder, I would highly recommend this. It's very powerful, it's moving, it's very raw as well. She's a great author, really hits it home as far as self-harm and teen issues go, and she's a very inspiring read. Next, I have Stargirl by Jerry Spinelli. As you can tell, it might not really look like the others. It is a bright, fun cover, but this does fall under the category of bullying, although it is not necessarily about self-harm. Bullying is another big teen issue, and it's about a girl who is singled out for being different. It's told from the point of view of a boy who knows her at school and how he sees what is happening to her, so that's kind of cool. Very Gatsby there, where it's not told from the main character's point of view. Jerry Spinelli is a really amazing author. He does write for a younger age group than myself. Still definitely worth checking out. I have read quite a few of his other books, all of them usually relating to trying to fit in. Finally, I have 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher. This is the one that inspired me to do this video in the first place. Clay Jensen returns from school one day to find a mysterious box on his doorstep. This box turns out to be full of tapes, which are the last recordings of a girl, Hannah Baker, who committed suicide at his school. Hannah uses these tapes to explain the 13 reasons why she ended her life. each reason being a different student at the school. Frightened and confused, Clay's life changes in one night as he follows Hannah's story around the town before finally passing it on. This is the story of rumors, bullying, and sexual harassment, and how she felt that there was nobody there who she could turn to. This story was given 4 out of 5 by Goodreads, and I feel like this story was written a little bit more for my age group, maybe a little bit younger, but definitely not as young as 13, although at 13 I would probably read this as well. Unlike Speak, I didn't feel like it was addressed specifically to a younger age, which is what I really enjoyed about it. Read it in a day, couldn't put it down. It's, again, another very haunting novel on teen issues. So there you have it, everyone. Those are my 8 books that I have with me today about teen issues. I can't stress enough how important that issue is, not only for me, but there are thousands of teenagers out there struggling with various mental illnesses and self-harm. I also want to apologize that this video is a little bit late. It was scheduled to come out last Thursday. Unfortunately, at the time, I had gotten sick and completely lost my voice. The way I saw it was actually fairly interesting, because a lot of these books are about teenagers, girls in particular, who can't talk about the things that have happened to them. And I had a hard time coping with not being able to talk for a couple days. Couldn't imagine what some of these girls went through. I am here today to speak out to the thousands of children, teenagers, and young adults who feel that there is no hope left out there for them. Whether it is drug abuse problems, self-harm, bullying, anyone who feels alone, I want them to know that there is always somebody there for them. There is always going to be hope. Everybody out there knows someone who is struggling with an issue. I myself did struggle in high school, and that is why I'm here today to talk to everybody about this subject, and I don't think that it should be taken lightly. We need to have more compassion. Reach out to anybody you know. It is so important to reach out to other people. You never know who is struggling. You don't know who could be there for you if you don't try and reach out. Sometimes help can come from the most unexpected of places, and if you're not someone that has an issue, don't just let others struggle. Please reach out, because you don't know who is crying behind their smile. You don't know who is dying inside, and there are so many people who say that they're fine when they're not. There is a huge problem now as well with bullying at schools, and it saddens me. And now with social media, many teens don't even feel safe in their own homes. So this is my challenge to all of you. Use your social media for good. I want everybody to go online, go on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, anything you have. Tell people nice things about themselves. Stop the hate, please. It's not necessary. It doesn't make them feel good. It doesn't look good on your character. It's bad karma. And if we all sent out nice messages to people, some people that we may not talk to very much anymore, some people that we used to be good friends with that we're not, tell them something nice about themselves, because that is what I'm doing as my New Year's resolution project, is to spread the love, to let people know what I think, positive thoughts about them, and to let them know that they're not alone in life. No matter what happens to them, they have somebody else there. I am reaching out to everybody. Please talk to me, talk to a family member, talk to friends, co-workers, anything. Don't hold it in, because there are so many stories out there of girls and boys who didn't talk, and it didn't end very well for them. If you could do one thing for me, one thing for yourself, one thing for others, it would be that. Please spread positive energy, spread the love, let them know that they're not alone, because you don't know who is feeling alone, and all of a sudden they could be gone, and you could be one of the reasons why. I understand that this video is a little bit of a heavier subject than I normally post, so thank you so much for everyone who has stuck with me so far. It is so important that these issues not be taken lightly and be addressed. The books talked about today are all really great reads. They're all perfect for anyone with a specific issue who's looking for someone to relate to, find themselves lost in a book. Maybe it will inspire them to get better by the end. It's great for anyone who is looking to understand these problems a little bit more themselves. Maybe there is someone you know struggling that you would like to help. These books give excellent ideas on how to help. They also give a very vivid and extremely powerful view of what could happen if nobody steps up and reaches out to help them. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe to my videos, but most importantly, remember that you are not alone.